Hello students, today we will continue the chapter number 8, Human Environment, Transport and Communication, and the page number is 153 to 155. The topic that we will be discussing today is waterways. So now, what are waterways? A waterway is a canal, river or narrow channel of sea on which ships or boats can sail along, serving as a route or way of travel or transport. So a water is a canal, it is a canal, river or narrow channel, a narrow channel of sea on which ships or boats can sail along. It should be such that the ships and boats can easily sail along the narrow channel or sea. And it should also be a way of travel or transport. It should also serve as a way of travel or transport, or it should also act as a route for the boats and ships. Okay? A very good example of a waterway is the city of Venice. The city of Venice is famous for having waterways. The city of Venice has a lot of waterways inside the city, and it is famous for the different waterways that are there. Okay, you can just look up the image of Venice, and there you will find that there are numerous ships and boats that are sailing inside the city. Like we have the roads, there are many waterways inside the city of Venice. The city of Venice is in Italy. The oldest canoe, a dugout pine log found in Netherlands, is thought to be 8,000 years old. The oldest canoe, the canoe is a type of boat. The oldest canoe is a dugout. The oldest canoe, a dugout pine log found in Netherlands, is thought to be 8,000 years old. The oldest canoe, a dugout pine log found in the Netherlands, is thought to be 8,000 years old. You know, when you take the pine log and you hollow it from the center and you make it in the shape of a boat, then it is called a canoe. A canoe is basically a boat of the pine tree, and you take the log of it and you hollow it from the between, and then it becomes a canoe. Although the water transport is kind of slow, but it is the cheapest mode of transportation. Bulky materials in huge quantities can be transported through water bodies. They are the cheapest because very little cost is involved in building the transport networks. They occur naturally as rivers, lakes, seas and oceans, the natural highways for transportation. You know, the waterways occur naturally in the environment. We do not really have to do anything. We do not really have to build it like the roads that we build and the railways that we set up. You know, we do not have to do anything. The waterways occur naturally, and they are the cheapest mode of transportation because a very little cost is involved in building these waterways. So a very little cost is involved in making of these waterways. That is why it is the cheapest mode of transportation. Waterways are generally categorized into two categories. The first one is the inland waterway and the second one is ocean and sea routes. So the first one that we will be discussing is the inland waterways. So what are inland waterways? I have written a definition here. The inland waterways are areas, lakes and places that are not on the coast but in or near the middle of the country. So these places are not on the coast. You know, the areas, lakes and places that are not on the coast but in or near the middle of the country. That means that inland waterways are there in the middle of the country. They are not on the coast. You know what a coast is? It is a waterway other than the sea, open to navigation. What does it mean? That these waterways are not a part of the sea and these waterways are not seas. Rather, they are just areas, lakes and places that are inside the country. And they are open to navigation. It means you can easily sail a boat or a ship in the inland water. You can easily sail a ship or a boat through the inland waterways. This is the meaning of open to navigation. Then the Rhine Valley is the most heavily used inland waterway. It flows through Germany and the Netherlands. The Rhine Valley is the most heavily used inland waterway and it flows through Germany and the Netherlands. Then the longest inland waterway in the world is situated at Mississippi River system. The longest inland waterway in the world is situated on the Mississippi River system. This is the longest inland waterway. The longest inland waterway is situated on Mississippi River system. And the Rhine Valley is the most heavily used inland waterway. It is the most heavily used inland waterway and it flows through Germany and the Netherlands. It flows through Germany and the Netherlands. So what does it mean that it is navigable? In order for a waterway to be navigable, it must meet several criteria. The first one is it must be deep enough to accommodate vessels. It must be deep enough to accommodate vessels. A vessel is a ship or a large boat. It must be deep enough to accommodate the vessels. It should be deep enough such that the ships and the different vessels can easily sail through it. The water should be there. The amount of water should be such that the ships and the boats can easily float in the water. It should be very deep and the volume of water should be enough for the ship or the boats to easily sail through the inland waterway. Then it must be wide enough to allow passage of vessels. It should be wide enough to allow a path for the vessels. It should be wide enough to allow a passage for the different vessels, the ships and the boats, so that they can easily pass through the inland waterway. Then it must be free of obstacles to navigation such as waterfalls or offer a way around them. The inland waterways should be free of any kind of obstacles. There shouldn't be any kind of landforms or rocks, or the inland waterway should be free of obstacles. There shouldn't be any kind of obstacle in the path or the passage of the inland waterway, so that the different vessels, ships or boats can easily sail through it. Then its current must be mild enough to allow vessels to make headway upstream without undue difficulty. The current must be mild enough to allow vessels to make headway upstream without undue difficulty. The current is the flow of water. So the inland waterway should have the kind of flow of water which can allow the ships or the boats to easily sail through it. That is, they do not get carried away with the current of the water. They do not get carried away with the flow of the water. Rather, they can easily steer through the waterway. They can easily steer their way through the waterway. They wouldn't have any kind of difficulty in traveling through the inland waterways. So it should be deep enough to accommodate vessels. It must be wide enough to allow passage for the different vessels, and it must be free of obstacles such as the waterfalls, etc., and easy to navigate, right? And it should offer a way around the obstacles if there are any kind of obstacles, right? If there is a waterfall, then there should be a way that you can pass through the waterfall around it, right? So that there should be a second way that you can pass the waterfall easily and you won't face any kind of difficulty. And it should be easily navigable and free of obstacles. The wave height on lakes must not exceed value for which the class of vessel is designed. If you are designing a vessel, whether it be a boat or a ship, the design is made keeping in mind that the amount of water that is there in the water body. If there is very small amount of water in the water body, then you will try to make your vessel, which is a ship or a boat, you will try to make the vessel quite lightweight, right? If there is very less amount of water, then you would like to make your vessel very lightweight so that it can easily float in the water body. But if you have a water body or a waterway which has a greater volume of water, such as the sea and the ocean, you will design your vessel accordingly such that it can float in the waterway. That is, you can make the ship or the boat quite heavy also. Then if the water body has a large volume of water, such as the sea or the ocean, then you will design your vessel, which is a ship or a boat, such that it can easily float in the ocean, and it is not that much light that it gets carried away with the current of the ocean. Also, it should not be that much heavy that it sinks deep in the ocean, but it should be designed for the type of water body that is there. You can also design it quite heavy as compared to the water body which had shallow water. The wave height on lakes must not exceed the value for which the class of vessel is designed. It means that the different types of waves that are formed in the water body, the different waves that are formed, sometimes it is high and sometimes it is low. So the type of vessel that you are designing for the water body, you should keep it in mind that the height of the vessel should be according to the wave height. If the height of the vessel is short and the waves that are forming in the water body are high, then the water can easily enter your vessel or ship. So the wave height on lakes must not exceed the value for which the class of vessel is designed. Then here are some of the interesting facts about the rivers. The first one is old name of Ganga river is Bhagirathi river. The old name of Ganga river is Bhagirathi river. and oldest river in the world is River Nile. The oldest river in the world is River Nile, Nile. Largest or longest river of India is the Indus. The largest or longest river of India is the Indus, Indus. River known as Sorrow of Bihar is Kosi River. The river which is known as the Sorrow of Bihar is Kosi River, Kosi. Then oldest river in India is Narmada River. The oldest river in India is Narmada River, Narmada. Then fastest flowing river of India is Teesta River. The fastest flowing river in India is Teesta River, Teesta. Then the deepest river in the world is Congo. The deepest river in the world is Congo River, Congo. Then the cleanest river in India is Umgot River. The cleanest river in India is Umgot River, Umngot. Then the country with no river is the Vatican. The country which has no river is the Vatican, Vatican. Then river called mother of all rivers is Mekong River. The river which is called the mother of all rivers is Mekong River, Mekong. This river is in Thailand. It is called the mother of all rivers. Then the river which is called the king of waters, the river which is called the king of waters is the Indus Sindhu. The Indus Sindhu, Indus, Indus, Sindhu, Sindhu. So this is the river which is called the king of waters. These were some of the interesting facts about the rivers. So let us discuss some of the important inland waterways. The first one is the Haldia-Allahabad stretch of the Ganga and Sadia-Dhubri stretch of the Brahmaputra. Second one is located in USA and Canada, the Great Lakes. The third one is the Mississippi and Missouri rivers of the southern USA. And the fourth one is rivers Seine and Loire in France. The fifth one is river Rhine in Germany. The sixth one is the Nile in Africa. And the seventh one is the Yangtze Kang in China. Let us move on to the next topic, which is ocean and sea routes. So let us move on to the next category of waterways, which is ocean and sea routes. You know, there are many of the ocean and sea routes that provide a passage for the different ships and the vessels to carry trade around the different parts of the world. You know, the ships and the vessels are sailing regularly in these oceans and sea routes so that they can transport the different goods from one country to another and one continent to another. These provide a very important passage for the different countries to carry on trade. You know, much of the trade is facilitated by the different ocean and sea routes that are there in the different parts of the world. See, much of the trade in the ancient and medieval period was carried on through oceans and seas. Ocean transport is of vital importance in the world's economy. The ocean transport is of vital importance in the world's economy because it is a major contributor towards the trade that happens in different parts of the world. The trade which takes place between the different countries and the different continents, much of it occurs through the different ocean and sea routes. About 90% of the freight goods that travel around the globe are carried by ships. What is freight? I have written the definition here that freight is goods that are carried from one place to another, goods that are carried from one place to another by ship, lorry, trucks, trains, aeroplanes, etc. So the freights are the goods that are carried from one place to another by ship, lorry, trucks, trains, aeroplanes, etc. Right? The freight are the goods that are carried from one place to another in ships, trucks, lorries, etc. So about 90% of the freight goods that travel around the globe are carried by ships. So 90% of the goods that are currently traveling around the globe, around the different parts of the world are being transported through the ships. There are no major obstacles along ocean routes excepting the problem of icebergs. There is only the problem of icebergs in the ocean and sea routes, in the polar regions, and climatic hazards of fogs and storms. Ports are located along the routes which enable trade between different countries. There are different ports that are being set up around the world in different coasts of the continents and the countries where the ships come and they unload the goods and the goods are then transported to the different parts of the country. Right? So these ports help in the unloading and loading of the goods onto the ships and from the ships to the land, so that those goods can be transported to the different parts of the country, and all the goods can be transported to the different other parts of the continent, like different countries. They can be loaded onto the ships, and from there they can be sailed to the different parts of the country. So some of the important sea routes are the North Atlantic route, the Indian Ocean via the Suez Canal. The third one is the Cape of Good Hope, which is in South Africa, and fourth one is the South Atlantic route. The fifth one is the North and South Pacific routes. The important one is the Indian Ocean route, which is the Suez Canal. This one was recently in the news because there was an incident that happened in the Suez Canal. And what was the incident? You know, the Suez Canal is a significant route for energy. It is a significant route for energy, commodities, consumer goods and components from Asia and Middle East to Europe. So, the Suez Canal is an important sea route for the energy, commodities and consumer goods and components from Asia and Middle East, Asia and Middle East to Europe, Asia and Middle East to Europe. So, this is an important, significant route for energy, commodities and consumer goods and components. It is a human-made or artificial waterway. The Suez Canal is a human-made or artificial waterway. It is not a natural sea route. It is not a natural ocean route. Rather, it is a human-made or an artificial waterway. It makes the shortest maritime route to Asia from Europe. So, if you have to transport your goods from Europe to Asia or Asia to Europe, then it is the shortest maritime route. It is the shortest sea route for transporting the goods through the ocean or sea waterways. So the incident that happened in the Suez Canal was that the Suez Canal was blocked for 6 days in March 2021 after the grounding of Ever Given, a container ship, by strong winds blocking all the traffic until it could be freed. So a container ship which was called the Ever Given blocked this canal for 6 days in March 2021 because the container ship which was Ever Given was it was tilted because of the strong winds. It was sailing like this through the canal, but because of the strong winds that were flowing there, the container ship which was called the Ever Given was tilted, and because it was tilted, it got stuck in the Suez Canal. Because the Ever Given container ship was tilted, it got stuck in the Suez Canal and it blocked the Suez Canal for 6 days. None of the different ships and boats that used to travel through this canal could now travel. So this grounding of Ever Given, the container ship, by strong winds blocked all traffic. It blocked all traffic until it could be freed. This is known as the 2021 Suez Canal obstruction. This is known as the 2021 Suez Canal obstruction. Do you know what is a port? A port is a city, town or other place where ships load or unload, or a place along a coast in which ships may take refuge from storms. It is also called a harbour. So a port is a city or town or other place where ships load or unload, or a place along a coast in which ships may take refuge from storms. Ships may take refuge from storms. It is a harbour. Okay, so the next mode of transportation is the airways. Aviation kerosene is fuel used in aircrafts across the globe. You know, the type of fuel which is used in different aircrafts or airplanes is called as the aviation kerosene. So aviation kerosene is the fuel used in aircrafts across the globe. Indira Gandhi International Airport is the largest airport in India. Indira Gandhi International Airport is the largest airport in India, and it is in New Delhi. Indira Gandhi International Airport is in New Delhi, right? They are used to reach remote and inaccessible areas. You know, the airways is the mode of transportation which is used to reach the areas which are very remote. And what does the word remote means? The meaning of the word remote is areas far away from cities and places where most people live. So remote are those areas far away from cities. Remote are the areas which are far away from the cities and places where most people live, right? So if someone is living in an area which is very far away from the main cities where the people are living, then it is called a remote area, and therefore difficult to get to. And because these areas are far away from the cities and places where most people are living, these places are difficult to get to. It is difficult to reach these areas. Then the airways is used for transporting light and perishable goods. Airways is used for transporting light and perishable goods. What are perishable goods? The perishable goods are food that has to be used quickly or it will go bad and decay so that you cannot eat it, right? Perishable goods are food that has to be used quickly, the food which has to be eaten very quickly so that it does not go bad, it does not rot away, right? So it does not decay. Because when it decays or goes bad, you will not be able to eat it. Then, airways is also the costliest mode of transportation. Airways is also the costliest mode of transportation because of the fuel that is used in the different aircraft, which is aviation kerosene. It is a very costly fuel. Then, domestic airways links towns and cities within a country. You know, when the airways link the different towns and cities within a country like Delhi to Mumbai, Mumbai to Kolkata, Kolkata to Chennai, then this is called a domestic airway. It is linking the different cities and towns inside the country itself. You know, the flights are taking place from one city or town to other city or town inside a country. They are not crossing the borders, they are not crossing the seas such as the Indian Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean to reach some other country. So domestic airways does not cross the boundaries of a country and they do not flow overseas to reach the different countries, right? They just take flight inside the country and from one city to another city inside a country. Then the world's largest airport is King Fahd International Airport. World's largest airport is King Fahd. King Fahd. This is the largest airport in the world. King Fahd International King Fahd International Airport. This is the world's largest airport and it is in the country Saudi Arabia. This airport is in Saudi Arabia, the Dammam. Dammam.